Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. Wiring part 2. This weekend I spent my time trying to lay out all my contactors and shunts and fuses and all that stuff that we kind of touched on last time. And this is sort of what I've come up with. And tell you what, let's go out to look at the 4x4 first, and I'll show you how I have it set up on that. Alright guys, let's take a look how I have it on the 4x4. Of course, back here, I've got that outlet. And up here on the dashboard, I've got a little knob there. That's what is my sort of soft start. And then here is the sort of PTO on switch. And up front, I've got another one just like on Miss Cub. And then over here on the side, I've got my contactor. It's the same one as Miss Cub uses, and then that white fuse is the fuse that's for the power takeoff. And that's how it is on this one. Alrighty. And if we look at this layout, it's kind of the same thing, sort of. On the side of the tractor, you could see the negative side, and you couldn't see the shunt, that's in the front. But you could see the fuse that comes over and then goes up to this very same contactor, and then it would go out to the electric power takeoff. In this case, I've got two. And the reason I did that is because I'm going to have, just like on the 4x4, I'm going to have a front and a rear electric e-power takeoff. But I'm also, of course, going to have the belly mower. Now, the e-power takeoff can be used for various things. I've got a wood chipper and an inverter. I've got some big 48-volt floodlights, a front-mounted brush hog, a rear-mounted finish mower, a front-mounted flail mower, all that stuff. And if I ever wanted to, say, run the inverter and like power some power tools or something to work on something out in the field or whatever, I need to have power, obviously, to those outlets, but I don't want to have my, the mower deck running, of course. So I need a way to shut that off. Let's look at the diagram here. This is my 48-volt side, and it comes down, and then this is actually wrong. This is actually wrong. I need to change this. This fuse is actually on the negative side. So the negative comes down and it goes through here. So that's where we're at right here. The negative comes down, goes through a fuse, this fuse, but it should be over here. Then goes through the fuse and goes up to the contactors. And that's what these two right here are. These are the two contactors. And then those contactors, once they're closed, they provide power to the ePTO outputs and also to the motor. And then the positive comes in from this way to that stuff. So, but here's the situation. I need a way to shut this off. And the way I'm going to do that is whenever I use the little soft start thing, like what I showed you on the 4x4 with the little knob, that just basically speeds up this motor slowly, and then you close the contactor so you don't have a huge rush of current. Well, whenever I do that, it'll slowly give power to the motor and also the ePTO. But if I don't want this mower motor, I'm going to have a little switch underneath the hood that I can just do like a manual override, and all I'm going to do is cut ground to the contactor, and that'll open the contactor so power won't come in from the negative. It won't go through this contactor to make the mower run. But this contactor is always going to be closed anytime that switch is closed. I don't know if this is a little bit confusing. You got to kind of know a little bit of wiring diagrams. But anyway, that's the way that's going to work. So that's why I got to have two contactors. And yeah, and then this is just the positive side going through the main fuse. That's over here. And that's this one. This comes down, goes through the main fuse, goes into the motor contactor. Got this little resistor there on the side. And that's what this is. This is for like the pre-charge circuit of the motor controller right there. And then that's the little accelerator, throttle, potentiometer. And yeah, so the thing I've still got to do with this is I need to, well, what I want to do, I want to use this lever to control my little soft start relay, or my little soft start. And that's what this is. This is a little soft start. It's basically just a little bitty motor controller, but I want to use this to run that. But normally this is supposed to be connected to a potentiometer. This is what's on the 4x4. And this is a 0 to 10 0 to 10 ohm potentiometer. This is a 0 to 5, and this is also a 2 wire, whereas this is a 3. Now I think what I'll be able to do is this one has a ground circuit on it, but this one does not. But I should be able to run this 5 volts that comes from this circuit board. The 5 volts comes in through, goes through the resistor, and then a less than 5 volt gets spits out right here. Well, but then it's designed to go through a 10 ohm. So I think what I should be able to do, since this is a 5, if I put a 5 ohm resistor in line in series with it, then that should just step me up to, it'll start me at 5. Hell, I don't know. But anyway, I'd like to be able to do that. I'd like to have that throttle control to get to do the soft start and then flip the switch for the power takeoff. That's my main power takeoff switch. And then in here somewhere, I'll have my little override. You know, I can just open the hood and maybe come in and flip it there or something. But since we're here, let's take a look at how that is. All right, so here we got the panel installed. And from the outside, you can see there's nothing really to see. Got the 2 inlets. And the way that's going to work is these little removable, or these quick disconnects here. It's just going to kind of come down and then go over and straight into the connection. And that's it. And that's really all you'll see from the outside. On the inside, it's all kind of stuffed in there. And that's going to get that's going to get a little bit weird, because the cables for these two are going to have to come up and then go back down. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to route them. I could bring them back that way towards that back wall and then down, maybe have a clamp or something on that back wall. But I need to sort of be able to get at this, because obviously when it's in place, the console is going to be here, and the steering wheel and the column and all that stuff. And I'll want to, if I ever need to access this, get to a fuse or something, I'll just undo those 4 bolts there. These 2 down here are actually factory bolts, and I just found them and drilled the holes. But I want to undo these 4 and then tilt this whole panel forward, and I should be able to get some kind of access to that. Maybe not. I don't know. That's something I hope I don't have to worry about. But anyway, yeah, so there's that. Yeah, so that's how that kind of hooks up. One thing I do need to do is this is a DC-DC converter. I've got another one coming that's kind of a different form factor. It's a little bit smaller, but I got to mount that somewhere. I could put that there on the side somewhere. Basically what this is the alternator. It takes the 48 volts from the main battery pack and steps it down to 12, 13 volts to do 12 and 13 volt things. That's what these 2 are. This contactor is actually a 48 volt contactor, and these are 12 volt. But that little DC-DC converter will be for that, and it'll also be for the headlights. And later on down the road, if I want to, I can also put a conventional 12 volt battery where the normal 12 volt battery went. And if I want to run a winch or something, I don't know. But anyway, that is kind of what I've been up to this weekend. So, all right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.